This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Like we're joined by the 5-0 Alejandro Reyes from across the pond this evening. Alejandro, first and foremost, how are you?
How you doing, man? Good morning. Well, good morning over here. I don't know what time it is over there.
It's 20 to 8 in the evening here. Looks a lot
Oh,
better
okay.
over there. Looks a lot sunnier, a lot happier. But thank you for joining me anyway. Now, let's talk about you. Look, you had a bit of a tough time away from the ring, a bit of inactivity during the pandemic, but you closed out the year last year with 2 quick fire wins. So let's just go back to that. How much of a relief was it to get back in the ring and to get those 2 fast wins as well?
Well, I mean, fast. I don't know about fast. Everything has its time, and we had to do our stuff in the gym. So there's only a short bit you see in the ring, but it was a great relief, man. Everybody's been off for the pandemic, and things have slowly been opening, and opportunities have been coming. So we were lucky to have them back to back, and we were ready. We were in shape, so we took them.
I found it interesting. You said even though it was a first round knockout and a second round knockout, that's just what you see in the ring. You can call it fast, but we've been away
Yeah.
working. I wanted to ask you about that actually. During that early stage of the pandemic when you weren't fighting, I'm guessing you were in the gym the whole time. When you did manage to get back and get a fight date, how much do you feel you'd improved even still, despite not having a date for so long?
Well, there's always room to improve, man. There's always something to correct. And yeah, like you said, uh, I was working on some things at the gym, and when you don't have a set fight, it's kind of like a little, well, in my personally, it's like a little relief. So you can work like more loose, more comfortable, and you start getting the fixing the little things that matter, So yeah, I feel like I worked on my technique a little bit more and sharpening up little tools, work using your head more, not just training your body.
Oh, I'm sure you managed to enjoy yourself a little bit over Christmas. Not as much as me though, because I'm sure you're staying ready for a fight day. What can you tell us about when you're going to be back?
Yeah, man, we're gonna be back in 2 weeks. Thankfully, the 29th of January. So we're around the corner already, man. And yeah, like you said, we couldn't really enjoy Christmas that much. But it is what it is. New Year's, también, same thing. Gotta stay ready. It's part of the job, so it's nothing new, man. I've had to miss Thanksgiving 3 times in a row, so it is what it is.
Back in a couple of weeks, you keep him that momentum
Yeah.
going that you started to build at the back end of last year. How many times do you want to be out this year?
Well, what hopefully as many as we can, God willing, and I come out good from my fights, and we're just gonna stay ready, man. My people at the gym right here, the at Westside Boxing, my trainers and everybody, they're the ones that handle that. I just gotta do my part and stay ready physically, mentally, and in shape. So I mean, time is money. I'm trying to, I'm just trying to stay ready, man. We've been off. Everybody's been off. I started my boxing career kind of late compared to everybody else. So I mean, for me, I gotta be on the fast track. Whatever comes up, God willing, and I'll be ready.
Every time I speak to a young fighter in your position, Alejandro, they're always so raring to get going, to fight as much as possible, and to
Yeah.
climb the sort of ranks as fast as possible as well. I'm sure your team are a bit more measured about things, but what kind of a level do you want to be boxing at this year?
Uh, uh, I don't know. I haven't. That's a good question. I haven't put much attention to it. Everybody always asks me what I want to be doing in a year or in 2 years or where do I see myself. And I always tell them the same thing. I just take it one fight at a time. Every day at the gym, you gotta stay improving, gotta stay sharpening your skills. Um, Canelo didn't get where he get for no reason. He's always in the gym. That's what he says. He's like, I'm always in the gym, so I'm ready to fight. So that's kind of like one of the molds I look after. Just take it one day at a time, one fight at a time, and the work's gonna show for itself. I can't open my mouth and say, oh yeah, I want to fight Kambosos the next year, you know. So I just take it one fight at a time and keep improving every day as much as I can.
Pre-pandemic, we saw you weighing in around 135. Your last couple of fights, I believe you've been a little bit closer to 140. Do you know where you're kind of going to be settling now that you've got this string of fights under your belt?
Yeah, man. I've been feeling it because I'm the one making the weight. I've been feeling much more comfortable and stronger in my in my in my training, my sparrings, and my fights as well. everybody thinks 5 pounds is not a lot, but when you're trying to make them, it does take a toll on you. I feel much lighter, stronger, and confident. In my body to do the job. So those 5 pounds made a good difference. It was a adjustment that they kept telling me at the gym. The trainers are like, "Hey man, you do make the 35, but we think you'd be more comfortable here." So we had a little meeting between everybody, and it went in our favor. We made that decision, and it was a good call.
Now, I know you've got plenty of development to do, but right now at 140 that you've just moved up to, Josh Taylor has all the marbles. He has all the belts. Eventually, we had Josh on a couple of days ago. He's talking about eventually moving up. How exciting a time is it for that division, knowing that there's going to be belts scattered everywhere? There's going to be a lot of talented guys coming from 135 as well, I'm sure, chasing those. Yeah.
Like you said, man, he has all the belts right now, and hell of a fighter, man. Hell of a fighter. Watched his last when he took all the belts. So, I mean, it's a level you gotta aspire to be at, man. If you're trying to do something and be known or even have a belt, man, you gotta aspire to take a challenge and be like those guys and even greater. So it's interesting because, like you said, everybody's moving up a little bit. So it's gonna be jam packed with great fighters, and I just gotta do my part to be one of them.
You mentioned there you watched Josh beat Jose Ramirez, a very good fight, very entertaining fight. Were you surprised by that? How did you kind of expect it to go pre-fight?
Man, I was going for Ramirez, right? But Josh Taylor wasn't a pushover, and he executed his game plan perfectly, And sometimes you don't need to be the stronger, bigger guy. You just need to stick to your game plan, listen to your corner, and be smarter than the other guy, outbox him. And that's what happened, I wasn't surprised as to his technique or boxing, however you want to call it. I was just so emotional. I was excited for the fight. It was one to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was right there on the TV watching and just anxious to see what was going to come about.
And the last fight I wanted to get your thoughts on, we've seen back and forth on social media over the last couple of days between Devin Haney and George Kambosos. They're both calling for the fight in Australia. It looks like we might get an undisputed fight. That fight gets made. Who wins and how?
Man, I like how Kambosos performed his last fight, man. A lot of brain, a lot of discipline, and a lot of heart too. That he showed out, and that's why he's got the belts right now. So it's gonna be a rough and tough, exciting fight. Like they told me before, if you don't know who's gonna win, just say it's gonna be an exciting fight.
Yeah, that's a very diplomatic way to put it. One final one that just came in my head there. You used to be at lightweight. The lightweight talk for a long time. They were talking about the new four kings, about Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis. Right. We obviously saw what George Kambosos did, but do you think people are also sleeping on Vasily Lomachenko a bit too much at this point?
I think so. Just because he lost the belts doesn't. It does mean something, obviously, right? He took the belts from him, but he is still there. He's still Lomachenko, isn't he? He doesn't get washed up because one loss. He already came back. He started fighting again. So, I mean, it's like a bike. You learn how to ride a bike, you never forget. So it's not like he's done after one fight, But there's many more things that go into play, like the internet, your following, how you looked your last fight and stuff. There's a lot of build up to it as well. So as far as boxing goes, he's still there, man. It's just a matter of time before he gets back on what do you call it? He gets everybody behind him again, if you could say.
All right, Alejandro, thank you very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Best of luck in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm sure we'll catch you a bit further down the line.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.